I'm ready. I'm ready. So prepare me the time and the space, and I will sit down and do it. I couldn't imagine how they would manage that. So, and they did. It was so crazy. The house was so quiet. Nobody was there, and I really had this moment. And you know what? I've done totally something different, something that I really love to do, and I haven't been doing it for a long time. And did I feel bad? No, not one bit. I didn't feel bad at all, but it didn't let me off the hook. So when I was back welding, the universe was saying, I hope you enjoy it. And I said, oh yeah, it was really cool. You know what, you can get me some more space like this where I can do things that I really like. And because I was so energized, and it was really cool. I got so many things done that I haven't been doing for a long time, and I really had fun with it. And they said, yeah, you can have it, but we're asking you to do something. And I said, okay, this time I promise I will do it. Set me the time, set me the room, the place where I can do it, and I will do it. And they will say to me, every day a sentence is till the end of the year a book. So I already wasted 2 or 3 months. So, and then I realized that they're already giving me the time limit. So the time frame was till the end of the year. So, and they're already telling me that I needed to do each day a sentence. I didn't need to write a whole page. So I just had to sit down and get one sentence managed. The thing is that when I got into my space set up, and it was magic, it was totally magic. It was a perfect time. And I was not disturbed at all. And I could sit, and I was sitting there and was thinking, okay, I'm sitting here. What in the heck am I going to write? I don't know what to write. And Gabriel, the archangel of the messengers and a lot of other things, or this energy will come up, Mosa, well, just start there where you are. I said, what do you mean, start there where I am? So yeah, just there. So at the beginning, and that's where I started with the book, and I just wrote. And the thing is, I didn't even think about what I'm writing. It was not about what I'm writing. It was about listening to the information that are going to be set onto the paper. And my job was to sit there continually to the end of the year, till the end of the year, till it's finished. And every day I needed to commit myself to do at least one sentence. But it turned out that I'd done even more than one sentence each day. And then the end of the year came, and I was finally, yes, and it just stopped. That was it. Nothing more was able to write. And I said, okay, it seems like it's done. The year is nearly over. It's done. It's finished. Nothing's coming. And they would say, yeah, okay, now print it out. I said, really? Come on, you told me to write. I wrote. I sat down here every day doing this, and now you want me to print it out? And it gave me this feeling to print it out. Oh, and I'm like stubborn and don't want to do it. And you don't win. You can feel the way you do. The universe will say, you're allowed to feel the way you do. You're allowed to think the way you think. You're allowed to act the way you do. Enjoy it. And when you're finished about feeling the way you do, can you please do that, what we're asking you to do? See, they couldn't even get me there angry, so it was just like your truth. It's reminding you, no matter what you're feeling, no matter what your idea is, you are allowed to do that. And I said, okay, so you're not putting them off. They've got a lot of time. So you just need this time to develop and to accept. And I said, okay. So I was brave and printed it all out. And I said, okay, it's printed out. Am I gone? Am I done? No, you have to read it. Oh no, come on. And they knew I hate reading. And because I was hating reading was not actually the reading itself, it was the words. I realized years later, my first book when I bought when I was 17, I moved out with 16, and it was about the paranormal phenomena, and I had nobody around, and I didn't know, I couldn't even pronounce that word. So, and I needed help. I needed somebody that can help me with what I'm going through and what I'm dealing with. And because not only is only the energy fields, there are spirits out there, okay, so that are coming and talking to you. I've got that ever since a child. So, but I didn't have anyone that's going to help me with it. So, and I had to have these books. So I had to buy them. So, okay. And I wanted to open it up and it didn't work because I opened it up and I saw the word. What happened is the word was creating a vibration. This vibration was reminding me of my environment where I was brought up with, which was not a loving one. So I closed the book again. And I said, no, this is not working. And I'm not going to read all those words. So, and the universe says, you don't need to, just ask the book. I said, are you joking? No, just hold the book and ask the book. Just whatever question you've got, just ask it. And I said, okay. And then, well, you close your eyes and then you open up your book. And when you open up your eyes, the first spot your eyes captures, that's the word you're going to look at. Okay, so I'd done that. I opened up the book and I saw one word. And I said, okay, but I'm not reading all these words. And the universe was saying, no, but what is the word that your eye is actually looking at? I can't remember the word, what it was, but once I read it, I became interested. I became interested in this vibration that awakened, because that connected me with a memory, that connected me with something, a desire, that interest that really motivated me to read at least a little more about that sentence. So I read the whole sentence. I said, okay, and that was my answer. I had the answer to my question. And I'd done that for years. So I never read books for a long, long time. And when I got to have this book written, they asked me to read it because they knew I wouldn't read a book. I was 17, and when I wrote the book, was around 35. So, and they got me to read it because I didn't read it then. And they said, now we want you to sit down and read it. And I said, okay, not looking forward to it, but I'm going to read it. So, and I was not allowed to leave the room till I read the book from the beginning to the end. Well, that sucked, really. Especially when you believe you don't like reading, and now you're sitting there and you have to read it from the beginning to the end, and you're not allowed to leave that room. And I know you can't mess around with them. They'll get you. So I said, okay. And once I was finished with it, I just heard myself say, wow. I was so uplifted, so highlighted, so amazed about how much words can actually awaken and move you. So, and then I believed I was finished. And I said, okay, this was really beautiful. And I appreciate that. And I feel amazed, but am I done now? And they said, no. And I said, oh, come on. And they would say, you need to publish. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm definitely not doing that. And they said, well, we've got time. And it was just to that time when I was moving from Germany to New Zealand with my 3 children and my husband in 2011. And a big shift like this involves a lot of money, and we had no jobs, and you have to look for a place. And I had some money saved up to just get the kids organized in that place and all this. But there was also, I needed to go to Corner. And I didn't want to go to Corner because they asked me to go to, that time there was Doreen Virtue, and I didn't know anything about her, because I wanted to go to Charles Virtue, and because he was talking with mediums, and I wanted to see him live and just talk, and you were able to enter a course, and I wanted to go there and see how and what this is all about. So, but when I got there, I had to take an angel class first and to get into the medium class. But when I got there in Switzerland, so the medium class was cancelled. And 10 years later, the video was done. So, but when I was in there, he was saying, well, you don't need it. And I was saying to the universe, you must be joking. Couldn't you told me this before? Because I'm going to New Zealand. I didn't have to do this. But we had to make some notes, and I was there 3 days. It was amazing. It was really amazing. I really enjoyed every minute. But I was very scared for every minute, because I had a very bad experience with one energy worker, which I was kicked out of a course. by not only being present. So, and that was not only the only damage, I also had energetically a damage, which the universe had prepared. So that was really interesting. I did not know anything about that, and the universe were telling me about it. But I had to go there because I had to solve something for my mother, which only I was able to do. Not even that person was able to do it. I needed to do it. So that was the reason why I was there. There's a lot to it. So, and that happened to me. So, but when I was sitting there, and I was so afraid because the speakers didn't work, I was so nervous that I interfered the speakers, I interfered the sessions. When I was sitting there, please, universe, get me out of here, because this roof is going to fly off it. It's going to fly up into the heaven. It's going to bust. I need to get out of here. And he needed to stop the course and make a pause, you know. So when I got out, my heart was racing, because I thought, my God, I'm going to, if she was so powerful and he's powerful and I do something, what is going to happen to me then? So I was really freaked out as a physical being, you know. So it was really, because I had no idea what's going on and why they're doing this to me, that they can do that. And I was breathing, and oh, my heart, it was the hardest 3 days. But when I was sitting in there, but also the most beautiful one, because you've got your fear and you've got the divine and you've got your own self and you've got the body. And the divine is that was actually keeping you there and allowing you to feel the way you do, because you're allowed to feel this way. You're facing your fear, but it's not about this. It's about you staying there, listening while you're here. So, and everybody was making notes in 3 days, and I only had one word on there. I had 2 words. I had angels, which is the messenger translated, and I had Kona, Hawaii, where his mother was doing the last show event session, that live before she retired. So, and I said, I'm not going to Kona, I'm not going to Hawaii, I'm going to New Zealand. You know that. You know that I haven't got the money either. So I'm going over there. But before I left, I had to book. So they went for 2 weeks. They were telling me I need to go there. And I said, no, I'm not going there. You're ridiculous. I'm moving, you know. So, and said, nah. So, and I said, okay, they're not resting. So I'll just try it. I tried it 7 times, and the bank phoned me and said, I do believe that you don't want to book it 7 times. And I said, it didn't go through. And they said, from the bank, it went 7 times through. And I said, oh no, only 1 time. So there were also complications. The low vibrations were trying to manipulate that trip. So, and I said, you know, the whole world, I believed, wanted to go and see Doreen Virtue. I didn't even know her. I saw her once, and that's how I got to Charles Virtue, but I didn't know what I should think about all of this, you know. The angel would just say, see, we told you so that you're not crazy. So, and I said, nah, I'm not going. And I said, well, how much chance have you got when the whole world wants to go there? And she's only going to take 255. How many chance do you think that you've got to get a spot? So I believed, oh, well, I can just send it in because I don't want to go. Everybody else wants to go. So how much luck do I have to have? And I tell you what, a few hours later, you're welcome. And I said, oh, no. I said, this is not true. This can't be. Or I was, I suppose, the only one there, and that's nothing. She's a really lovely energy, beautiful, but it's not about her. It was about me. I didn't want to be there. I was not asking for it. So indirectly, the angels were saying, you're incorrect. So when I got there, so I had to move to New Zealand and organize the kids first. And then still my husband didn't have a job. We just had living from our savings, and I had to go to Hawaii because that was on my list. I had angels, which is the messenger, and Kona. And I said, oh my God, what am I going to do there? I was totally freaked out. So I went there, and 255 people, I think this was the smallest class that she actually gave. And I was in that hall and thinking to myself, I must have wished it so many times to come across light workers just like myself. People like me that have abilities or awaken abilities that they are doing and haven't got people around them experiencing maybe a bit or some or similar. So, but even though I had all these people there, I just felt, what is this all about? It was about coming out. It was coming into public. And so when I went to go and get her book signature, and I don't read book, to that time I didn't read books and I didn't want a book, but as it comes, I needed to take the book. And you only had a chance. One day you had a chance to line up and you had this ticket, and and it felt like this huge long tube coming out of a dark cave into a little light spot, and you were holding on to it, but you were not allowed to step on any of the side, because if you step out, the next one's going to step in and your chance is gone. So the universe was always saying to me, breathe and breathe. And I was saying, what is this all about? I don't read books. I don't write them. I don't read them. I appreciate it. It's fine. But what am I going to do with it? It was not about the book. It was about walking into the light. And when I was at the first, and there was a little bit of a 2 meters or 3 meters in front of the podest where she was standing, where you could take a photo of her. It was like giving a signature and you could have a photo with her. I think that was the hardest moment, because in that moment I was walking towards her and I had to turn around. I'll go, oh my God, they all can see me. And the universe was saying, yes, for you, it's time to step out. I did not know what they meant. And when I came back from Hawaii, and then they came up again with the book, you need to publish it. And I said, oh, how in the world am I going to publish it? My husband just got his job, and I went and got me a job as a welder. So, and then we started getting self-employed. And I said, how's this going to be happening? And they said, it doesn't matter. I don't know how to publish. I don't know what to do. It's it's about, because when you're a welder, you're living in like surviving, coming out of an environment that is really like aggressive and only working, and no love and no time for yourself, and no support or no motivations. So, and you think about, okay, you moved out with 16, you're thinking about who's going to keep the roof over you. So it's only you. So you are thinking of doing your stuff. So you're not thinking about other options that you have. You're thinking about the closest options that you actually possibly can do, that you can manage, where you can see yourself doing it and living it and growing from there. So my word was, I didn't want to dress up, because I was thinking, if I go into an office, then I need every day some new clothes, and then how I'm going to get this money. I was always thinking about the money, how I'm going to do them all by myself, and my food and my roof, the power and all that, the living and the car and all this. So, which is something that I can do, where I can use my clothes, where I get maybe the clothes. And it was the mechanic, so the man's job. So first it was the mechanic, then I went on to welding, and then I went on to plastering and painting. So I never had to worry about my clothes, and I always, so it was really cool. But I didn't have to worry about anything else either. I didn't have to worry about writing or reading, because that was not necessary. I was getting up early in the morning, coming late home. So it was like working, earning your money, and the weekends was actually my life, because during the week I was not there. But it also got another background to it, and what this book has done, it's uncovered that all, because the growing up in the environment that I was kept down. I was commanded. I had to do that, what I was asked to do. I had no voice. I had nothing to say. So I was not to be seen. So what happens on the physical plan is, without you actually realizing, is that you are actually providing you that environment that you are used to. So when I moved out with 16, I had my own flat with my partner, and it's parterre, so in a family house, private. And when I got in there, I went to my house door, opened it up and closed it, opened it up and closed it. I don't know how many times I'd done that. I was alone, I'd done that. And I felt, and I was waiting. And I was, the universe was saying, what are you waiting for? There's nothing going to happen. And I was expecting somebody to come in from the family, or, or just to say something. And it took me a few weeks to realize that there is nobody coming. There's nobody there. This is your new space, your new life. And then the next moment, I realized after I developed that, after I understood that, and after the body was feeling released, then I noticed I was always looking on the ground. The universe was saying, the archangels, guiding angels, energy fields were saying to me, why are you looking on the ground? I didn't even notice that I was looking on the ground. And I said, I'm looking on the ground. And then I felt that I was looking on the ground, and everywhere I walked, I was walking like this. How in the world are you going to see your opportunities when you're always looking like this? So this happens, and we are not aware of it, that all these happenings around you are really affecting you within and the environment that you are creating in the here and now. So I said, okay, so I'll change that. And I said, yeah, so if you want to see what's in front of you, you better change. I lift my head up. And I lifted up and I felt the very first time, oh, wow, I'm seeing things around me. I'm really aware of what's in front of me. What I've been doing all my life, till then I was 16. So I've started realizing what this environment was doing to me, but that only happened when I started writing the book. But the book was like a backflash on all the lessons that I've been learning in that school where the angels were telling me, and the plane. It's a school, a learning, a process that you have to go through, but you will go home. It's just going to take a little longer. Great. I nearly gave up on it. So, and that was very interesting. So, because when I started writing the book, I didn't know what I'm going to write, and all these episodes came up. So, and Gabrielle will say to me, it's not about the book. It is the path that you're following, and we are asking you to follow it. But because you are in this environment, not seeing yourself and not willing to do it, the universe comes along and gives you tools. They awaken something in you and make you move. You believe that you're going to miss out. You're not going to miss out. No one misses out. You are definitely going to get onto that path, and you are just going, what we're doing is we like to step away from the challenge right in front of you. We cannot escape the challenge. Your path, everybody is looking for their life purpose. Your life purpose is to unfold yourself, to find who you really are, and to go into the deepest you and to unfold it, to bring it out. No matter what tools the universe is going to give you, is you to understand it's all about you. And when you start healing yourself, one step towards your heart, you heal everyone and everything connected to you, which is the whole world and the universe. How beautiful is that? And we are so blind, so unknown, but it's nobody's fault. The universe will say, I had a situation when my young middle boy was a little younger. He will say, I hate you. I really do. You lied to me. And I said, you are allowed to feel the way you do, because that is your truth. I love you. I forgive you. And it's not important if I forgive you. It's important if you can forgive yourself how you feel right now. And I said, and maybe one day you will understand what I'm trying to tell you, but you don't have to. And I said, this is your truth. No matter what your belief is, it is your truth, because out of your sight, out of your point of view, this is what you felt. This is what you understood. This is the real reality for you, but you don't know my reality as an adult, what I had to deal with, what I had to come across. And this is what you don't see. This is why we are both right. There's nobody wrong. So you can imagine children having a mother like me and talking like this. Yeah, like a little goo-goo.
I mean, that's quite a different response But I love that response because, you know, sometimes parents go through situations and phases with their children where their children might be angry. And a lot of responses from parents are to get angry back, or to say, shut up, go to your room, go away, don't talk, don't say anything. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. But that response that you gave your son, I believe, provoked some wheels turning in. So when he did, after you were finished with that conversation, it seems like, and I don't know how old he was at the time, but he would think, well, what did she mean that we're both right?
Exactly.
Well, she
Exactly.
said that this is the way I feel, and maybe what is she? You know, the way that you responded provoked thoughts in that young boy's mind. And I'm sure that young boy, I don't know if he's a young man now or has
He's
children.
20 now, and he's 20
Okay.
now. And from that young,
That will be a situation that he tells his future children, or, you know, his lineage down the line.
we had a really difficult time. So what is happening there, the universe says, is this is I tell you, the universe, it is the hardest you can come across, but also the loving you can come across. And whatever action they do, they love you deeply, and they show you how deeply they love you. So no matter how you think it's cruel, so they will say to me, because when I'm angry or upset or sad, they were saying, wow, you need to see it from this point of view. Whatever you dislike on your children, this is what you taught them. And this is the moment where you want to choke the angels in the universe. So you think, how dare you can say this? But as I am the one, ever since a child, that is the student of the universe, they are teaching me through my own life force, which everyone get taught, but they're not understanding how the life force is actually teaching you. So teaching you how to see how these actions, situations, how they are actually messengers for you. But what do? We respond and react with the result that we're going to end up with. So we're not really thinking. We believe that we're thinking, but we are not thinking. We're acting out of an emotional reaction. But if we would think about the result that this action is going to be doing in the word that you're going to be saying, that is going to cause the result, you would be thinking twice about it. So the life is, they were saying to me, so anything you dislike, you need to take it and you need to face it's not about the actions, it's about the vibration that it causes, the feeling that comes up. That is your mirror. That is deep inside of you, which you had to deal with and you have not resolved it. And that is what is coming up. And you need to look at, where did that happen to you? Whoa, that throws you way back. Man, I tell you what, if every human being would actually be focused on more on their own self and try to transfer their life into something better with all that knowledge that they have came across, nobody would actually have time for anything else except themselves. There would be no arguments and fights because they had no time for it. And you only would have time for that what's right in front of you, the here and now, and that what you meet and what comes along on the here and now. When I walk with my son every morning, we get up really early and we go for a walk, or we go down to the beach, and I say to him, we're talking, well, I asked him, what is spirituality? And I say to spirituality, and I said, well, everybody sees it differently, but it is what we are doing now and what we're doing with it. So we have a goal, and our goal is to get up early in the morning, do our exercises, and that till the end of the year. So, but we're going outdoor. So we're coming through 4 seasons. So we're going to come across the things that we dislike, and that's going to back us off. We're going to go, oh no, I don't want to go out because it's too windy. Oh, it's too cold. Oh, it's raining now and I'm going to get wet. Oh, it's too hot. See all the excuses that we're going through. So universe is giving us just one little thing to do. which seems to be a huge thing to do. But I said, look at your life, how many items or how many situations or themes you've got to deal with every day, every moment of your life. And you're not really aware, you're just wiping over it because everybody just wipes over it and just picks out the raisins that they like. I said, no, it doesn't work like this. Everything is precious, if you like it or dislike it. And they're all messengers, but it's about learning the point. And I said, okay, when we walk along here and you just saw yourself getting up and we're walking along this way, but did you create or thought about that bird that's just on that road there? Did you put that runner in our path? Did you put that, that's leaf falling down here? Or that rain, did you create the rain into it? And he said, no, see. That is the universe. You do not know. You do not know what to expect. But your goal is to walk along the path. But now we are dealing with weather, with different kinds of, feet, shoes. We're realizing that, the shoes that we got on, they're hurting my feet. So what are we going to do about it? Are we going to complain? Are we going to stop our journey? Or are we going to think about solutions that we can actually make it happen, that this harmonizes? Now, one day we go into the beach and it's getting a little colder. So, and from the beginning I was saying, think about the idea that when the day is getting colder and we're coming into winter, that it might be a good idea to have a wetsuit. Well, I've got one, took a long time, but I've got one. So it's a beautiful story too. So, and I said, just keep it in mind. I don't want it, don't eat it. And I said, you don't have to. I'm just asking you to just keep it in mind, because it was nice and warm and sunny and, in mornings, so really nicely. So now the wind comes and it's morning, it's really fresh, and sometimes it rains and he only goes with his t-shirt or without a t-shirt. So, and then suddenly comes out and says, oh, it's getting a little fresh. And I said, well, they also got half sweat jumpers that we can think about. And he thinks, yeah, that might be actually a good idea. Okay, we got that one. So, and then the waves, then suddenly these waves go up and down, and every day it's different. And every second day when we come, the beach is totally different. And the waves are different. And this time he was so uncomfortable with his own self. First of all, he didn't want to go in. And then he said, okay, he's going in. And then, and he came out and said, oh, I don't feel like staying here. I said, sorry, we're here because of the dog. We're not here because of us. Because the dog needs his exercises. So we're here because of the dog, not different, not around the other way. We're just trying to create harmony in what we are actually facing. So this is what universe is giving us to do, why we are actually joining the dog. So I said, it's easy to back off. It's easy to say, I don't want to go and do this anymore. Oh, I want to go home. I want to go into the car. But if you could imagine yourself to accept the fact that nature is just the way it is and you can't do anything about it. What is it? And you really want to do this. You want to reach your goal. So what is one thing that you could possibly do that brings harmony in your particular situation? What is it? What do you think? He didn't know what to say on that one, so he went back into the water. Okay. So, and we come out when the sun rises. When the sun comes up to a certain point, this is where we say, okay, hello, Ra, time to go home. So, and then we hop into the car and I said, and he comes out smiling and I said, how did it go? Yes, I found something and it was really fun. I said, see, there you go. We are so fast in, I don't want this, I don't like this, I'm not doing this. And then you wonder why you don't reach your goal. And then you don't understand what blocks are in front of you. They're right in front of you, but you're not acknowledging, you're not seeing it. So you see, universe is giving you the chance to get to know me just a tiny little bit more. Your strange mom. So where everybody thinks I'm weird. And I said, you know what? No wonder they will keep me for weird, because there's no one thinking like me. And I am not in the environment where actually people are thinking and having this mindset as I have, because they're all stuck where they are. So, but I don't care. because I am called to do that, what I need to do. And the only one I listen to is the universe. And the universe will tell me we've got the laws on earth, we've got rules in families and communities, but we also got the law in the universe. So, you know, they said, this is actually what we really need to listen at. We have to accept these set up tools, I would say, for each and everyone to keep them safe as possible. So when you think about there were no rules for the world, how would the people communicate? And they will do whatever they want. So, but there are set rules. So the universe, the nature cannot do what it wants. We believe it does what it wants. No, it doesn't. It does what it needs to be doing. And we need to awaken to do that, what we should be doing. And I said, you've always been asked, what is it that you want? Sure, you hated me and your siblings as well because you thought you got told, but I don't make the rules. They're human rules, they're family rules, and there are also the universe's rules. And I follow the universe rules and respect every other rule and bring harmony. So, and now I've got 3 siblings, we're also 5. So how are we going to create harmony with everybody's opinions and wishes and desires? I said, so no, we've got options that I can give you, but you have to make the choice. So that was really cool because when they grew up, so and every time I will give them some options and will ask them, what would you like to do? These are the possibilities, you know, from the law, what you can do and this and this. And then something simpler came up for my birthday and I was like, oh, where am I going to go? And the children will sit around me and say, they're older then, and say, Mum, well, it's your call. Where do you want to go? So they didn't answer it for me. And I said, no, it's your birthday, it's your call. Where would you like to go? And it was just like the angel smiling down on me and say, there you go. So can you see what all the teachings we've been teaching you and you've been passing on has coming through to them? So, and it's amazing. I'm really enjoying these lessons. I'm also enjoying the time with my middle son and really trying to understand. And he says to me, and I say, well, do you believe now still that I am crazy? And he says, no, it's just a different way of thinking, which is actually not a bad way of thinking. It's just very thoughtful. And I said, yes, the universe is very thoughtful. We are the only ones that are not thinking. We believe we are thinking, but we're actually not. And when you just focus on your own self, on the actions that you only yourself do for yourself, could you say to the end of the day that it was the best that you could ever do and you couldn't have topped it with anything else? And he says, yeah, that's a good question. Then he starts smiling. Because my oldest son, he was in school and he had to really struggle with learning to that time. And it was the time when the angels would tell me to back off, just allow children to be. And that's what I'd done. And we think we need to tell them what to do. They're perfect beings. They know what to do. You are just to be there to open up the doors for the wishes they are actually willing to open up for themselves. So we need to understand this. So, you know, I say, step back, just allow. So, and we got him onto the school where he wanted to get there. So, yeah, that's fine. I said, okay, you heard what the teacher said. You heard what you have to bring to stay on the school. So I'm giving your responsibility into your hand. And from now on, it's up to you if you're going to stay on there or not. I don't care. I done my part. You do yours. And then he brings a not so good mark back. And I thought I'll pick him up from school and with the other siblings and we'll go, it's this nice sunny day and we're going to have an ice cream and I'm being happy that we can do this. And he's so frustrated and so unhappy and so angry. And we're sitting in this in this ice cafe and he's talking about that. And I didn't know what he expected me. I suppose he expected me to rise up and tell him off. You know what, I was there, I've been there, I went through it. Nobody needs it. So, and I sat there and I said to him, I took a deep breath and I said to him, whatever note you have, I don't want to know it. Not because I'm not interested into it, but it's not useful right now. I said, whatever note you have, can you say to yourself, honestly, really to yourself, you have done everything possible in your power. You done everything, you learned everything, everything that you could say you've done your very best, and there was no way you could have done anything more to make a better result. It was silent. He looked and he sat right like this, and he sat in front of me. He was maybe around 12 to that time. And he says to me, well, if you ask me this way, I could have probably done some more. And I said, there you go. The past is done. That is the past. That note is written. You're going to have it till you die. So, but the other notes that are going to come, you can change it. But it's up to you, not up to me. You see, if you want to have somebody that tells you off or wants more in this direction, or, you know, more attention, then you need to go to your father, because all interested in that. But if you come to me, this is the advice that I'm going to give you, because I've been there. I was a child and I went through hell, and I'm telling you now, nobody needs that. See, and this is all what the universe does. And he gave me to go and get this book. And that was very interesting, because when I moved to New Zealand, a dear friend had never been flying in her life, and she really missed me. She got onto the plane, she went to the bank and saw if she can get some money. She thought she didn't have any money, but then the bank came towards her and said, oh, she can take a loan and she can have this card. And then she said, I'm coming. So she got into the plane and she came over, and I said to her, it's so nice that you're here, but listen, the other day, the universe wanted me to publish the book, and I did not know what to do. And then suddenly on my computer, I don't know what happened, there was there came up a pop-up window, and it was self-publishing, and it was from Louise Hay. And it was the stairs and the door and open and self-publishing. And I was saying, you must be joking. That was my response to the universe. I said, how am I going to do that? So they answered me the question to publish it. So it was self-publishing. So, and I said, but it cost a lot of money. I didn't have that money to that time, because I was just moving, and I just came back from Hawaii, and I was just getting sorted. And then my friend came and said, and her name is Gabrielle. So Gabrielle, and she was saying, look, I've got a card. I can give you the money. I can borrow you it. And she never had one before, but she said, the bank said I can take this and I can borrow you the money. Now it's up to you. I can't tell you if you want to do it or not. Do you want to do it? Yes or no? So nothing is in your way. And I said, oh no, this is really not true. This is not happening. So I slept over it and I said, okay, I agree. But I asked the universe to provide me a job that I can actually earn her the money back. So, and it did. So I gave her a half when she came, before she left, and when she came back the other year, I gave her the rest. So, and that was all done. So, and the book was a journey itself, because I wanted to have it edited, and that didn't happen. So, and whatever I tried to do, it didn't get that far. So everything shut it down. I couldn't put it onto my computer. I couldn't change things. Then I had a student, because the universe got me to go out in public, because I was in Kona. Then I came back from Kona. My husband was waiting for me at the airport, and he said to me, oh, we have to go and make some business cards. And I said, no, I'm not making any business cards. I don't even what. And when I was in Kona, I was drawing some wings and a sword, and I didn't know what I was doing for. I was channeling. So sometimes it just happens, it just comes out. And my husband was saying, no, we have to go. So, okay. And we did go to a spot where he said, but I can't do it for you, you have to do it. And he got me to do the business card, and I didn't know why, because I just arrived. So, and it was in wing, and that turned out to be my business card with Archangel Michael on it. So I can't see you.
So you were drawing unbeknownst to you, the business card that your
Yeah,
husband
I
would
draw
tell
the
you
half
that
of the
you needed to
wing
make.
and the sword. I draw a bit of a wing and a sword, and that was the sword that came up when I went to the shop. After 10 minutes, I had my business card. And I didn't even want
And
the business
so
card.
what prompted your husband to tell you that you needed business cards?
I didn't know, but it was my husband when he picked me up, because I was in Hawaii, in Kona. Then I had to go over to Honolulu, because I had to stay there the night till the next flight goes. And while I was in the hotel, I didn't go anywhere. I was in Wow, in the hotel, and it just kept on. I had to keep on drawing. It was very annoying, and always drawing. I was always drawing the sword, and was always drawing one wing. And when I came to Auckland on the airport, my husband was waiting there with the children with me, and he said, the first thing he said, you know what, we need to get some business cards done. And I said, no, I'm not getting business cards done. I'm not going anywhere. I don't need them. And he said, you should think about it. And I said, no, I'm not going anywhere. And he said, it was really early in the morning, and he didn't let go. So, and I said, okay, let's go and have a look. And I said, just sword, and it was a logo. So, and he brought up these logos, and it was this sword with this, it was this wing and the sword and the ribbon on it. And the rest we created to it. So my name, they put my name in there, and they put all those things down there. But the wing and the color, they put the color on, but that turned out to be my logo. And I was able to buy it, and that was in 10 minutes. So now I had business cards, I didn't know what to do with it. So, but then it was like, universe was trying to get me out in public. So I just arrived into New Zealand. I didn't know anyone, and my husband is, he's very good in this. So he went out, and everywhere he went to, then he was asking if there are any spiritual people or events that you can join. And it's so hard to get into one at the very beginning, because you're a no one for the human beings. The universe knows. So what happened is that I almost gave up. It was good for me, because I didn't actually want to go out. So, and then I said to the universe, you know what? I wrote to somebody, had an email address, wrote to him, and he said, oh no, they're all booked out, and da-da-da-da-da. And I said to the universe, okay, so I done my part. And if you really want me to be out there, you open up that door. Because you know what? I'm really comfortable where I am. So next moment, it didn't take 5 minutes, and I was sitting still in front of my computer, and the same guy who said I can't come emailed me and said, well, if you want to, you can come this Saturday, but you have to come this Saturday. And I said, oh, choice, it's in. And again, it was about the money, and it was our last money that we had, and I took it and I went there. So, but I got more money back. I didn't know that. I didn't have no idea. I didn't know what I was doing. So, and this is where I built up I went really every weekend over 2 years, and everywhere around the areas where I can reach so far. And I experienced a lot of interesting things, but I decided to ask the universe that I do not want to do that. And I said, not that I don't want to share their message, but I said to them, this is not what it is. These human beings are really not ready for this kind of work that we are doing here, what you are representing. They are more interested in what I'm doing and who I am, and they're more about themselves. I said, this is not what we're doing, guys. You have not taught me that way. We do not mix up in the conversation the universe gives you. You repeat exactly that, what they ask you to do. If you like it or dislike it, this is the reason why you're allowed to feel the way you do. You're allowed to think the things you do. You're allowed to say the things you say. You're allowed to do whatever you want. Enjoy it. When you finish with it, can you please do that what we're asking you to do? You see, we've got this inner fight in us. We've got the divine wanting to talk, but we've got all this ego and all this fear and all this judgment inside. The universe is not growling you. The universe is saying to you, this is human. You're allowed to. Do not fight. You are allowed to feel this way. You're allowed to express it. You're allowed to. But once you finish with it, no matter how long you take, can you please do that what we're asking you to do? And do not make it nice. Don't leave anything away. just bring it exactly the way how we ask you to do. And I can tell you that is a scary moment because they only say the truth. If you like it or dislike it. I also came into a situation, you're a human being, okay, you're just the channel there, and this human being in front of you, because you're still the student. You may be the messenger, but you are still the student of the universe. You are still learning in that very moment. Don't think that you're not learning, that you're just talking there. No, because you have to watch the other side. You have to watch this response, what body is doing, what it's talking. And then you have to watch all the information that you're becoming and which the ones you're allowed to say. So, and then you'll have the action there. And I will say to the universe, even though when the face goes, it doesn't like it. And I said, well, I'm not here to tell you what you like. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear. And I still love you.
That sounds just like something a parent would say.
Yes, they're so beautiful. They're so loving. They tell you right in front what's going to be, and you just accept it. You accept it in a loving way. When they told me that my father's going to die, it was very interesting. I didn't have really good contact with my father, and it was the very first time when he came, and it was very weird. But it all cleared up to the end what was happening. So I fell from 2.80 meters from my ladder in my new house, and on that day where my mother and father wanted to come, and I had the kids outside playing around the fire there, so my mother-in-law was downstairs. Oh man. So well, Raphael helped me with that one. Lucky, I was so lucky. So well, because I was working on site, so I had a lot of muscle, so there was nothing really damaged, exactly that. Well, I took homeopathy to not get a big eye, and nothing was broken, so I was just pretty much bruised. So, and then my parents were coming, so they sat outside, and my husband came into the door, my arm was bleeding, and I had my jacket over it, and I didn't see it, and I said, oh, it's bleeding, so we had to just bandage it. Don't make a big deal, just bandage it, and kids don't see anything. So when they came, they were sitting out, so I had this big window, door window, and they were sitting outside. And I was sitting inside, talking to my husband, and said, "Can you handle this situation?" I said, "Yeah, well, they're here." and while I was saying so, and I said, "Oh well, on the other side, he's got not long to live anyway." And my husband looks at me. That just came out like that, and I said to him, his life is on a thin, long thread. And my husband was looking at me and saying, are you seriously? What are you talking about? How old do you think he's going to turn? And it came out 70. And I said, well, this is what it is. So, and I left it with it. I hear myself saying that, I was going, okay, what's happening here? So that's the physical me, but there's an energetic inside as well, the energy that's talking, because he asked the question, he asked it the energy, and the energy gave him answer. And he thought it was me giving answer, but it was not, because I was saying, what? Yeah, so the angels were already telling me he's going to die, and he's going to die with 70. And I said, okay, I didn't even know to that moment. I forgot how old he was to that moment. It was just blanked out. It was just, I didn't have any connection to it, because they just blank it. They just take it away from you. It's just gone. So, and when I go outside, this is another weird part. I was sitting suddenly between them. So I sat beside my father, and then my mother sat there. I haven't sat there since I was a little child. That's way back. So that was really weird. And my father was sitting on this side here, and I used the homeopathy and this nature pearls for healing instead of the school medicine. And he knew that, and he knew that I'm really good in it too. And he said to me, have you got something? He called me witch, and he called me, but it was a nice way. It was a nice energy field. So I didn't, because I would, because it's never been something nice out of his mouth. And I was sitting here looking at him, because he was a little taller than me. And I said to him, and I was going like this. I said, whatever is here, this stuff is not going to help it. It's only going to numb it, reduce it, the pain that you have, but it's not going to take it away. It's not going to heal it. You know that. But he knew, I didn't, because the universe was telling him that. it was again the universe talking to him, but he thought I was saying it. So, and it was like they were there in a few weeks, I think a few days later, they went over to New Zealand. And so it was like August. It was in August when he was with me. And when he went over to New Zealand in September, he passed away. So in August, and then I started calculating, how old is he? He was 70. He turned 70, and after 70, he passed away. And in August, he was 69. And in September, after his birth, September, October, this is where he passed away. And then I made the calculation, said, whoa. And later on, my brother found scans that my father had a tumor in his head, and it went from his lungs, from his head, right from that side where I was pointing. So right from that side, right up there, down there. And that was exactly that what I was pointing at. And nobody knew. And he knew, but he didn't want to go through any operations anymore. How fantastic is that? Not fantastic that person that died away, but energetically, I always see I'm a student of the universe. I'm learning, and I thought that was really humanly, it's really fascinating, fantastic how they are actually pointing it out and actually giving you the proof as you go along. It happens all the time, ever since a child. So
okay.
Just they make that, it is really weird because they've always been talking always to me and helping me through my life, because that is my learning, my teaching. I always wished for someone that could help me understand what I'm actually going through. I'll never say, well, you're the one who needs to teach it, because this is what we're teaching you. So, and they got me to write the book, and the book is really interesting. It's just a shame that you couldn't get to read it, because it has not been edited, and the universe didn't want to have it edited. Every time I wanted to do it, it didn't go through. And then I had a student, I came across a student that is a German, and I told her about my book, and she wanted to read it, and she said, oh, you know what? I know an author, he talks German, he might be able to help you. So we went there, had an appointment, and I didn't know what to do because the book didn't go anywhere. And he said to me, he read a few bit of it, and he turned around and said, you know what? He wouldn't change anything. He wouldn't get it edited at all, but he would put a front page in it that explains why you wrote it the way you did and why it is this way. That's what he would do. And it was just so uplifting. So tears came down. I said, wow, this must be the answer. And when I got back home, I wrote that sentence, and I wrote the page down there. Of course, the student that was German, she offered her time to come, and she said, you know, I can look through it and we can just do as much as possible, you know, so, and that's it. And we couldn't change any sentence on it. So whatever she tried to change, this is really unbelievable, the computer went off. So, and I thought the whole thing was lost because I'm not very good in the, you know, in all this digital stuff. So we turned it back up. So in the page came up the way it was, but it was not changed. So, and I said, we tried it again, it went off again. So I didn't want to have anything changed. And I said, okay, we're not allowed to change the sentence around, but maybe we're allowed to take a word off or add a word in. So then we started off doing that. And this is what the book agreed with. So, and it was very interesting, and we couldn't go the speed how we wanted to, because it was also like a learning process going through each paragraph. Sometimes it went through a few pages, and sometimes it only went through a paragraph. And we both went through a learning process going through it. And once we had the front page set and everything was done and universe was happy, then I sent it in, and it went into the publishing. And then again, it was very interesting, because then I had a phone call. Once I sent the book in, then I had a phone call from the publishers that the money was pulled back. So the money was pulled back to the person, but she didn't pull it back. So I had to try to phone her, because she was calling from England, I think, and I had to phone Germany. She was trying to phone Germany. And the amazing part is that my friend was down in her cellar, and she was pottering. And she didn't have a computer down there or mobile or anything. And I was sitting in New Zealand in front of my computer and having the lady on the phone, and I was saying to her, Archangel Michael, Gabriel, if you want this happening, well, you need to get her wherever she is. She needs to get here online. And when she came, after I don't know how long it took, and suddenly I had her online, and she said, oh, this is really weird, because I was downstairs and I suddenly had the feeling I had to go to the computer. And when I opened up the computer, I'm having you here trying to call me. And I told her the story. So she's the one on the phone connected to her on the telephone because she was there, and they arranged the payment, and then it went through. You see, the low vibrations wanted to interfere, but the divine will manage it. You just have to do the actions. So, and it went through. And then I thought it was done. So, and I left it because I wrote the book, I published it. But the universe says it's just a path, it's just a tool. It's getting you onto the path where you need to be going. So, and then I had been coming, I don't know, get some emails, and then suddenly I have an agent that was asking, been interested to have an interview. So I had 2 interviews, and then they were asking, you know, and then I had this beautiful opportunity here. So I was like, wow, so Gabrielle, you're really into this, eh? So, but this is what it is. It's in German. And when I was sitting down, I was in Germany. If you are interested in writing a book, you would actually have a thought about in which language you're going to write it. So because I didn't have an idea or interest writing a book at all, so I didn't care. I just want to have it done. I never thought about English, but the universe always says everything is perfect just the way it is. So there you go. So, and I also had a class on Marama. So and this class went for 2 years. Yeah, that's very interesting. As I say, I didn't have really I thought about writing a book, and then I had to bring up a name, and it came Marama. And Marama was the idea. The universe was showing me a cousin that I met, and her second name was Marama. And I asked her, what does Marama mean? Because it's a Maori name. And she was saying beautiful. But Marama also means, as I looked it up, light of the world. So, and what light of the world is, and what Marama is talking about through the stories that she went through, if it was the rape or the growing up, and the processes from childhood, the environment that she was going through, the feelings that she was dealing with. So, but to see the light in every situation where she was, what if you could see from a different point of view? What if you could do the things you wanted to do? What if you had the strength? And you would do it no matter what, no matter who, no matter where. So, and this is what she's talking about. And she's talking about the sense that she was going through. She's using the story of the memories and episodes, but even like a flashback where she was a man, okay? So, and where she killed children and how the karma comes back. So it's little stories that she's brought up. So it was very interesting because when you read it, it's actually, there's this, the words and the story is matter for purpose, like everything in life. It's about the word that causes a vibration. And this vibration is connecting with a memory and a feeling with you, which is going to connect you with your own story, with this vibration that you have picked up in your history, in your story, in our history, our story. And I'm only talking about, well, here I'm talking really about way back in times and here and now. And but what I teach is more like the here and now, the moment where you're born to the moment to the here and now. But you exist in many ways and have been existed, and you're going through a lot of learning processes. So which you can recall when you know how to do it, you can go and recall it. So the universe will show you, and this is what they were doing. And it was very interesting about this name. So that just came up. It was not that I was like interested into a name. No, that came up, Marama. I didn't think about it. I thought, okay, Marama, that's beautiful, because it was, wow, it's beautiful. That was my word when I was saying it. So it was, wow, amazing, beautiful. So, and when I looked it up, what Marama here is translated is light of the world. And it's about your inner strength, your inner light, you taking the power and speaking up for yourself, which as a child, You do not, because you fear. And then what also is not only the fear, it's also this looking up to the adult, looking up to the person that is actually trying, willing, or should be protecting you, but the one who's actually raping you and sexually abusing you. Okay, so and you are there and thinking you cannot do anything, and how dare you can think like this about your father, and you know this, but no, this is incorrect. This is incorrect. Okay, it's like, no, you need to step out no matter what situation you have. You need to have the power to change it because only you can. And this is what I done. I changed my total environment. I moved out when I was 16, and it was not easy. So not that I hate the person. I hated my father very badly. But the universe was saying that hate is an energy which will affect me and not him. So if I don't let go of this hate, my hate will create in my physical plan, and with every moment and everything is going to come, and I'm going to draw this to me. I'm going to draw situations and people that are going to bring up this energy. I need to understand. And I said to the universe, how can I forgive something that nobody understands, that this person doesn't understand? And I said, it's not about that. It's about how long do you want to hold on to that feeling that you experienced and not let go of it? Because you cannot change the past. You cannot change the fact that that happened, but you can change the way how you feel about it and how you think about this person. You do not need to forgive him. He needs to come up and he needs to go through what he had to go, because he had the choice. He could have chosen differently. It was his free will that he done. But you are blocking yourself from living who you are by hating that one and getting stuck with it and bringing more of this. It was really a hard thingy, to understand. You have to go through a lot of protest to understand this one. And then this letting go. That is a very nice word, letting go. But what does it really mean? And it's not about, oh yeah, I forgive him, I'm letting you go. No, it is an energetically power that happens. It clears in that moment. But you need to understand where it's going to happen. And it is when you don't feel attached anymore. So in the moment, it was not about the scenery as its motto for purpose. But once I understood the feeling that I'm having, and it was always bringing me down, it was always, I didn't want to live anymore, okay? I didn't want to have this life anymore. And the universe was saying, and they wait, because we do not like to listen straight away. We like to suffer, because this is what we are learning. We learn this, we copy. But universe says, yeah, you're allowed to feel the way you do. You're allowed to do the things you do. When you're finished, and this is the hard part, especially when you're suffering, crying, so you're feeling really bad and down, well, enjoy it. And when you're finished, can you please do that what we're asking you to do? And when they say when you're finished, is what they mean is when you feel the moment that you have enough feeling the way you do, and you are willing to feel different, then do what we're asking you to do. But you have to become this awareness that you are willing to feel different. And I came into this position where I was really down and was saying, I don't want to feel this way anymore. I don't care. Whenever I see him, whenever I hear him, I do not want to feel the way I do. I don't know how I want to feel, but different as now, better. And in this moment, you do not know how better is going to be feeling. But for sure is you want to definitely feel better as it is now. So, and human beings do believe, oh, there's like a fairy, a whoosh, and everything's gone back to normal and perfect. But it's not. It's about this tiny little change that happens that is different. And then when you go through it and you calm down, and after a while you say, yeah, okay, so what happened? Physical man, human being. Now, what happened? I didn't see anything happen. Where's the change? And the universe will say to me, the angel will say, well, what are you aware of? What is for you different? What feels different? So, and a few days had passed and the phone went and I heard my father's name, or I heard my mother and talking about him. And I didn't recognize at this moment. And then the angel will say, what is different? And they flashed back to that moment. And I said, oh, this is weird. I feel different. I'm not having this anxious feeling. I'm not having this anger in me anymore. It was different. And then, say, see, that's the change. That was you letting go. And from there, it only gets better and better and better. So I am able to talk about this without being angry, without feeling bad for this person. Okay, it doesn't excuse the action that I've done, but it's about you. And there's so many out there. Okay, this is just one scenario, but there are so different kinds of scenarios in life where we believe we are stuck and there's no way out, and you can't. No, you can. You just have to step up for yourself. You just have to bring your inner light outwards. And how do we bring it? That we just see yourself from a different point of view. What if I could? Say this wouldn't be existing, your physical plane right now. What would you do? And then you start thinking, okay, I would do this and this. What's holding you back? What is the worst thing that's going to happen? Dying? That's not the worst thing that's going to happen. I've been in that position where I wish to be dead. So I went out because I was thinking, what am I going to do? I was 16 and well, I'm soon 18 and I don't know if I'm going to be allowed to stay at home, and I have to earn some money and how I'm going to support myself. There was a lot of fear and how life is going to be, and if I'm going to get old, or how old am I going to become, and where I'm going to be, and what I'm going to have, and where I'm going to live, and is there going to be something? So, and I was thinking like, no, I have to get a job. So, and I went to go for apprenticeship, and but the thing is, I needed a signature from an adult because I was 16, I was underage. But I told the boss there that I mightn't get the signature, and he said to me, well, we'll worry about that later on. Just go and ask first, and if he says no, you come back here. So I was backed up from the universe. He didn't say, oh, don't come in. I said, don't worry, go and ask first. If not, we'll find a different solution. You come back here. So I was backed up. So when I went to bring the paper to my father, his meter was a meter 80. So, I was just tiny and, small. And this was this living room we're in, and the window was behind me, and it was open. It was a big window, goes 6 meters down, concrete floor. And the door was in the back. And somehow came to the situation where he stood in front of me. He was very, very angry because he didn't want me to do it. And I answered him back. It was the first time in my life I answered him back. And I said to him, maybe I want that. I said, I don't want you to know, sir, but maybe I like it. Oh, man, maybe I like to stink like diesel and oil and all that stuff. It was the very first time I answered back. Man, he got so angry. He got right in front of me. He got me up here. He pulled me up. I was about this far from the ground. And I was thinking, oh my God, I'm going to die. And the window at the back, I was so afraid. And it was this moment where you feel like there's no way out. People get this feeling, no way out. There's no way out. I'm stuck. There's no solution for the situation. Well, I physically had a situation where I believe there's no way out except at the window, because the door was on the other side behind my father in the corner. So my tears were coming down. I was frightened to death. And then I thought, hey, while I was hanging there and being afraid, and I was thinking, hey, it mightn't be so bad being dead. So it's 6 meters. So if I really fall out there, I hopefully fall really so hard that I'm dead, because if I'm alive, that's not so good, because I might be a cripple and I can't live my life and I'll be stuck here forever. So and I got used to this idea. I was friending up with it, even though I was terrified and fearing, because you've got body, you've got your feelings, but you also got an inside. So that is pretty much alive. So, but yeah, because I was actually accepting the fact that I'd probably be close to dying. Okay, so in this terrifying moment and believing there's no way out. So, and in this moment, the universe, well, these words come in from the angels or universe or energy fields, and they will say to me, say it. And I'm hanging there in tears and dreaming of how it's going to be when I'm dead, because I'll be gone. I wouldn't be anyone in the way. I'm not going to be a pain, and there's nobody to scream at. And, so I had all these, oh yeah, be nice and quiet. And it was really nice, this illusion that I had, this bubble that I had created. And the universe would say it. And I was thinking, what am I going to say? I'm hanging here. I'm nearly dying. I'm out to the window. And in that moment, my mouth opened and I said, if you harm one hair and I survive, I'm going to tell on you. And that I didn't know what that actually caused or mattered in that very moment, but that is what came out because I had nothing to lose. I was already hanging there and it was just one scoop. And I said, no, you've done it. Now you're gone. You're out the window. So in that moment, he let me down and left the room. And I stood there and said, okay. I did not know what happened right there, but I was not afraid anymore. I thought it was really weird. And I was thinking about the sentence. What in the world am I going to say? Who am I going to tell on? And what am I going to tell them? I was 16 to that time. When I was 35, I understood what he was afraid of. Because he raped me and he has sexual abuse, he raped me in my sleep and has sexually abused me ever since a child. He was afraid that I would tell the police on him and he would get in trouble for that. I didn't know that. I found out when I was 35, when I went to a, how do you call them? I forgot the English name for it. Hypnosis. The Archangel Michael guided me to a hypnosis, and he was actually one who was working with the police, and they were really studying that in Germany. And and he got very angry. But I was 35, had 3 kids, was married, and he got very angry because he couldn't do anything about it. And he told me, and he was very serious. He was really big, and he said to me, "I'm going to tell you something right now, and you listen very carefully. It's not about the act. Rape happens way before that. It is the thought, and you have definitely been raped. And there's no way you could have cheated or tried to pretend." And I said, "This is fact." I said, "What are you going to do about it?" And I said, "Well, now that I know it's not a dream, and I'm trying to excuse myself," and this is what we children do. We put it into a bubble as a dream and think, "Oh no, that's just a bad dream. My father won't do that because he protects me and he's so good." No, this is what we children do. And the universe was making aware, this is what you've been doing. No, but we are walking you, stepping you out and facing you, because you can't move on if you don't face what has holding you back. You see, even though it took me till I was 35, but you're not going to miss out, because the universe is going to guide you to do the extra steps, even though you don't understand and they're really weird. So, but once you get used to it, they still stay weird, but they're also really funny, because you have these conversations with your own self and you realize that, and you're not having them with your own self only, you're having them with the divine as well, and they're actually showing you what's happening on the physical plane and what you're facing and where it's leaded back to. So, and it's helping you to clear up. So whatever you came across, whatever block you have created with unknowingly, you are still going to be faced with it. And it's going to come, it's going to core. And this is what we need to look at. And this is where it sets you free. And the more you can do so, the more you're aware to bring your light out, to just be you. This is the only thing you need to learn, is only be you, to appreciate who you are, no matter what scenery you are, and to just step up. Okay, so because dying is not as easy, even though we think. So everything is managed. Even then, there are spirits here, the universe say they just come here and say they kill themselves, suicide. And I said, "Why are you letting this happening?" And I said, "Well, they've been here for centuries. They just wanted to experience how it feels when they jump from the bridge. And they live only to that moment. Other ones just get born because they wanted to experience how it is to be born, not more." This is unbelievable, but this is what it is. So, and this is all a school for, because we are divine light. We are pure light. This is just a spirit having experience in a human body and having the ego connecting us with the earth. So that's it. So, and everything doesn't exist. It's just really matter for purpose, helping you to uncover, to unfold, to grow. So, and that's a really hard thing to take in, but it doesn't happen like this. You grow with it and you make the time and the speed, not the universe. The universe is this. Shoom, they're gone. But you're the one that's still sitting there and thinking, universe say, "Well, you need a wetsuit." Wetsuit? I'm not wearing a wetsuit. "Oh, you better have a wetsuit." And then I say, "Okay, but how in the world am I getting it off?" And then they show me 3 men they're swimming in the wetsuit, and one gets out and in the water, and they start taking them off. And I think, what in the world are they doing now? And I understood they had the bathing togs underneath, and they were taking it off in the water, and I had three different persons doing it. And I said, see, this is how you take it off. I said, ah. So you just have to be open, because you receive the answers, and we're just like looking for the answers, and they're right in front of you. We're just not aware of it. So it's like step back and ask the question, and they keep on repeating it. So then I got my wetsuit. So, and I'm so happy that I've got my wetsuit, because my dog doesn't bring the ball out of the water. It brings it back into the water, and it goes deep into So my gumboots are not long enough in the universe, and my feet get wet. They start laughing, and they say, yeah, they may be wet, but they're nice and warm. Yeah. So, and this is why they made me write this book, and to help the people to, when they read it, to realize the challenges that they're coming across. The biggest challenge probably would be for the reader, the one that cannot accept the perfect edited book. So those are the blocks that you're going to come across. So, and it's like putting the focus on the writer, on the one who's doing it, instead of, and judging all the steps, instead of seeing, why am I actually fronted with this, but why did I get guided to it? And why am I feeling the way I do? It's really a tool. And when the ones that are really open to just say, okay, we're just going to read it, it's very amazing what happens there, because they believe they're so thirsty to read stories about others, but they're not really realizing that the stories that they're reading, no matter what book it is actually unfolding the vibrations within the own self that they need to discover. And I think this is so beautiful, and it's just a really big journey where I do not know where it's leading to.
What would you say? Two things. I had one question in my mind, and then your last sentence just prompted another one. Because speaking to you, people who don't know you at all, you and I are just meeting for the first time, and you are so bright and light and vibrant. And sometimes you don't really know how much a person has went through in their life. And I know that people watching this may be thinking, how is she so happy and bright and light and vibrant when she has been through so much at such a young age? And what would be your answer to that, to people who are wondering how, and your smile is just so big and beautiful, how are you so bright and light and happy when you've been through so much in your life?
Yes, and that is a good question. And it is that you are allowed to feel the way you do, and that you are also allowed to change it. And this is what it really is. Even though there was a moment as a child, I don't know, I got growled and set into my room, and it was a tiny little room, and my grandmother, she was a very wise woman. I really loved her so much. And she always talked about, no matter what situation you have, no matter how dark it seems, there is the light. You need to look for the light. Now, I can't remember why I was growled, because that was just one growling out of so many growlings in my life. So that didn't really matter. It was just one tick more. So, and you felt one tick more worthless and useless and not loved, and great, why am I here? So what is this all about? And they don't love me anyway. And the universe will say, and where is here the light? Where in this situation is the light? This is what I really spoke out loudly as a child. And then I had these inner voices, the energies coming in. So look around you. Well, where are you? And I said, well, I'm in my room. And they said, yes, you are in your room. And I said, and? So what else is in your room? Well, I've got a cupboard. I've got clothes. And I said, there mightn't be the nicest ones, and there might be the expensive one, but they're yours. So, and with every, like the roof, you've got a roof over your head. It mightn't be the nicest house, and you just got this tiny room, but you got a roof. And your parents, you mightn't like your parents, but you got parents. And when they came to parents, it was just like this, well, this hate, it's, you know, it's so hard to find their light in it and to be happy, because you're not happy at that stage. You're really not happy. You become happy with every recognizing what is actually making you unhappy. It's only you. So the thing is, when that happened, they were saying to me, you got parents, and they showed me a flashback from a friend that I knew. She had everything. I felt happy for her because she had parents that loved her. They went on trips. They had a beautiful house. And when they showed me the other picture, she was an orphan. She lost everything. And while they were going through step by step, just in that very moment where I felt very deep and very dark and not happy, and asking, where's the other light? They said, you have parents. You mightn't have the ones you wish for, but you have parents. You mightn't have the room that you wanted, a big one, but you've got it. You see, we don't see the brightness right in front of us, right around us, because we're searching for something over our imagination. We're dreaming for something, a castle, a prince, or whatever, or parents that are, but this is what you've got. This is the situation where you are in, but if you're not capable to see what you have, how in the world is the happiness going to awaken and be with you when you can't be happy with that what you have? So I must have been around 11 years old when that was to that moment. And it was a really hard thing to take in, but you know what? That brightened up my heart. And I did not feel angry anymore. I felt blessed because I was not living underneath a bridge. I was not homeless. I was not in a home. And I heard really nasty stories about that. So even though I didn't feel loved, I had people, I had a place where to go, I had food. Okay, so I was some kind of looked after, but I did have a grandparents that loved me deeply and taught me as best as they could. So, and yeah, this is the only way how you can keep your light within you, is to see the beautiness in your situation where you are right there, in the darkest moment where you can't see it. Even though hanging there and thinking you're going to die, and really like saying bye-bye to everything and not fighting against it, you know, so everybody's afraid of being dead. It's not about that, because actually you don't die. A spirit can't die. The only thing that dies is your cover and you get a new one. So, but you is to really, to bring your light. You're the only one who has got this power. Nobody can make you happy. No thing that you buy can make you happy. If you haven't got this happiness and the value within you, nothing is going to make you happy. So you need to make happiness. And you know, the greatest happiness is when you can make somebody else happy. That is the greatest blessing ever. To use that what you have to make somebody else happy. Alone the idea brightens you up. How beautiful is that? And when you can arrange it and make it physically really happen, whoa, that is magic that keeps a lifetime. For everyone included.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And it's funny that you say that, because we interviewed an author at 2:00 and we were talking about that exact same thing. So it's funny that you say that. I want to, first of all, I want to encourage everyone to come by Hidden Gems Literary Emporium and check out Marama.